Feeding is not just about what your child eats, it's about how they eat, why they hesitate, and what's really happening behind every bite. Hi, welcome back to Beyond Words with Indu, your space for parenting tips, self care, and supporting every child, including those with special needs. I am Indu, a speech therapist, feeding therapist, parenting coach, and mom of two. If you haven't already, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss any of our tips on parenting. This is episode 11 in our Mealtime series, and this is part 1 of our feeding therapy journey. Today, we are going to look at what really happens before therapy begins, how we understand your child's feeding story, identify the root challenges, and plan the right approach for them. By the end of this episode, you'll clearly know how feeding skills are assessed, what we look for during the process, and how these insights lay the foundation for effective therapy. Whether your child struggles with chewing, textures, sensory sensitivities, or mealtime behavior, this episode will help you see where it all begins with understanding your child deeply. What is feeding therapy? Feeding therapy is a specialized approach to help children eat safely, comfortably, and joyfully. It's not just about getting your child to eat, it's about understanding their skills, senses, and emotions around food. Sometimes challenges come from muscles still developing, other times certain textures, tastes, or even stress at mealtime. That's why we start with a thorough assessment. Before I walk you through our assessment steps, let's quickly see who is involved in feeding therapy and what each professional focuses on. Who does feeding therapy? Feeding therapy is provided by trained professionals who support different aspects of eating. Speech therapists help with chewing, swallowing, and oral motor skills. Occupational therapists help with sensory needs, that is, helping children who struggle with how food feels, smells, or tastes. They also work on making mealtime routines smoother and more comfortable for the child. Psychologists guide behavioral strategies, helping children manage anxiety, food refusal, and mealtime emotions. They also coach parents on positive routines and reinforcement. As feeding therapists, we actually bring all of this together: the sensory part, the behavioral part, and the oral motor part. We look at the whole child, not just one area, to help them feel comfortable, confident, and happy with food. At N11 Therapy Center, we work as a team so your child gets the right support for their unique needs and goals. So, now about the detailed assessment. We start from history taking to observing your child during mealtime to setting clear goals. This helps us uncover the why behind your child's feeding challenges and plan what truly works for them. So, the step 1 is case history and parent interview. The first step is talking to you, the parents, because no one knows your child better than you do. We discuss things like your child's birth and developmental history, their feeding journey from breastfeeding or bottle feeding to solids, what foods they like and avoid, any gagging, coughing, or choking during meals, the mealtime environment. Do they eat independently or do they need support? During this stage, we listen closely not just to what you say, but how you describe it. Because emotions, routines, and family responses play a big role in feeding behavior. To get a clearer picture of your child's eating at home, we also ask parents to share a short mealtime video. This helps us how your child handles food in their usual environment, their posture, reactions, and how they manage textures and tastes. We also request a food log where you note what your child eats each day. To help us plan therapy effectively, you can categorize foods as easy, medium, or difficult based on what your child tries comfortably, what requires little bit of encouragement, and what they usually refuse. This helps us to tailor the next steps and ensure the therapy matches your child's real life needs. Then the step 2 is the direct observation. Next, we watch a child during actual mealtime. We look at how they accept food from the spoon or cup, how their lips, tongue, or jaw move, how they react to textures, tastes, or smells, whether they get easily distracted, anxious, or resistant. Even a small detail like a head tilt or a lack of lip closure can tell us a lot about their underlying difficulty. Then, the step 3, the oral motor assessment. Here we check the muscles involved in eating and swallowing, the lip seal and tongue strength, the jaw stability and movement, then the chewing coordination, reflexes related to sucking, swallowing, and biting. We may use gentle tools or finger checks to feel how the muscles respond. This helps us see if a child's feeding difficulty is due to motor weakness or lack of coordination. Now, step 4, the sensory profile. For some children, the challenge is not muscles, it's sensory. They might reject food because it feels slimy or only prefer crunchy snacks because they crave pressure. We explored how your child reacts to different textures like smooth, rough, sticky, then the temperature like hot, cold, room temperature, the smells, sounds, and sights during the mealtime. This helps us find out if sensory processing is affecting the feeding behavior. Then, the step 5, the behavioral and environmental observation. Feeding is not just food, it's the emotion, connection, and routine. We look at how the parent and the child interact during meals, whether there is a pressure, coaxing, or screen time. How the environment like lighting, seating, distractions affect the mealtime behavior. This gives us a clear picture of both your child's readiness and your family's approach to feeding. Then the step 6 is the report and the goal setting. After gathering all observations, we prepare a detailed report outlining the areas of strength, the areas of difficulty, the underlying causes, the short term and the long term therapy goals. We then discuss this with you so you understand exactly what's happening and how therapy will help. And at this stage, parents often feel relieved because they finally see the full picture. So that's how we begin, by understanding your child's unique feeding journey and uncovering the why behind every challenge. Once we clearly know what's happening, the real changes begins. Through therapy that strengthens the mouth, builds sensory comfort, and transforms mealtime behavior. In the next episode, I'll walk you through exactly what happens during feeding therapy step by step, from oral motor to sensory and behavioral strategies. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss part 2. Let's raise a generation of healthy, happy kids, inside and out, and make mealtime joyful again. Stay tuned.